Hey guys, hope you're well. Today I'll be studying the Jaron Ennis versus Stanionis fight that happened the other day. Obviously, Ennis won by a sixth round stoppage. He did very, very well, had a good performance, and this was the round I picked out that I'm interested to study in today. Okay, let's start it. So I don't want to spend too long on the round today. I want a sort of brief analysis of how he won, what systems he was using, what decisions he was making out of the 4 decisions. So yeah, okay, let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to see is Stanionis come around with some level change looks. You see Ennis just going into a sort of looks backward system. He's got his high guard here. He's going to see that Stanionis isn't engaging with him, so he's going to step back, lower his lead hand, and then going to jab off to the right. And Ennis, all he wants to do here is move around to the right with his looks, step back if necessary, and keep jabbing, okay? Keeping that distance, keep scoring, and keep looking for counters. As you can see, he's done it a couple times now. He's using some looks, and then he's stepping back when he needs to, okay? Using some looks, jabbing here. As you can see, they're light jabs. They're pretty quick and snappy, but he's not really trying to hit Stanionis. He uses his lead hand a hell of a lot on the gloves. As you can see here, he's using some looks, jabs, steps back again. If he sees Stanionis come forward a bit too quickly, he's obviously got a low guard here. He's baiting Stanionis in, keeping the distance with the touch jabs as he's stepping backwards. Okay, this is really good looks backwards. He even feints it here. He comes back up with a half jab, then jabs again a bit harder on the gloves. Stanionis feints slow, so he reacts by stepping back. And then he's going to decide to go for a little 2-punch combination here. He's going to go 1. He sees Stanionis close his guard, so he changes his level and then whips the left hook to the body around to the side. Okay, before resetting off once he's grabbed some space. Here, what he's going to do after the reset is he's going to wait for Stanionis to come forward, touch him on the gloves, just make sure he knows the range, and then come around with a hook. Really good lead hand work. Stanionis ducks low, so it just grazes him. After this good lead hand work, he's going to walk off to his left again. He's then going to do something really interesting. Stanionis is cutting him off here. He's going to follow him around to the right, and he's going to jab. Ennis is going to walk off to the left, break off here, misdirect, and pivot off straight away to the right side. Very, very nice work. He even does the same thing again. He slows down the reset here, slows down the exit, and then speeds up again on the slip. Stanionis does have an excellent jab, so he does manage to catch Ennis here, but Ennis manages to walk away and create some distance. Now, as you can see from Ennis's lead glove position, he feels that Stanionis might come close here, so he opens his parry hand up just to make sure that he can keep the distance and frame on Stanionis, okay, just as he's doing here, just to allow more space for the reset. He then half jabs here, jabs again, which is parried and comes around with the top. And this is one of Ennis's best features, in my opinion. So all these jabs, what have they been setting up? Now, you could say, oh, they're keeping the distance. Oh, they're keeping Stanionis honest. They look like, to me, a method to look for the counter, okay? And you can see it perfectly here. He's half jabbing, okay? And then he's going to decide, okay, let me commit to a proper jab, and it's going to bait out Stanionis to counter. He knows he gets parry handed on, so he tries to pull away. He mistimes it and does get caught. And then he throws a hook over the top and then a 2 here. Now, the 2 doesn't really land. I think it's squashed on the gloves, but it still pushes Stanionis back. And then Ennis is just going to reset off to the left and come back in with a jab. Now that we've watched that, I think we can go a little bit faster in this round because a lot of Ennis's game is doing this again and again and again. So Ennis here, he jabs again. He then gets a little bit closer. You see he has his lead block up, okay? He even uses his left glove to sort of try to keep Stanionis in place and then try to look for a counter as he comes on the inside. I think he manages to graze him with a hook before trying to spin Stanionis out and pulling away. And here he's going to show some great lead hand work. So he's going to frame on the glove of Stanionis here with his lead glove and come to his left side. And then he's going to go to his right side and dig around to the body and then keep his lead ham out in a frame. As you can see there, it almost sort of looks like a hook. It's not, though. It is a forearm frame. And then he gets caught and boom, left hand over the top. It's a very classic combination. I think he's hit Chakadian with it a lot of the times in the last fight. He hit Stanionis a lot of the time this fight. And then he shuffles forward because he feels like he might have the upper hand here from this exchange. He then makes sure that as soon as Stanionis level changes, he manages to get a frame on his head because he was a little bit too close, to be fair. And then he's going to try to do this. This is wonderful work. So he steps back, comes back in with a little bit more distance. He's going to throw this great three. He's going to touch with the jab. He gets his range. So what's he going to do? Come around with the hook as he steps in. And then boom, a lovely explosive uppercut. He then doesn't pull back or cut the angle or anything like that. He then uses his forearm to smother with a control. It's even a little elbow there, unfortunately. And then he's going to try dig to the body here, which is a little bit low. And if you look at his lead glove now, there's a lot to break down here. I don't know if I'll be able to do it as quickly as I thought it would be. He throws to the body here and then straight away recovers with his right glove. As you can see, this is completely blocking and pushing off Stanionis's balance on the inside. And look at Boots' feet. They are so wide. They are so wide. He's got so much balance. He even pushes him off to make sure that he isn't countering him again. It's really nice inside work. Anyway, he shuffles forward, jabs again. He's moving around to the right now, trying to probably regain the center. Here's an issue that I've seen in previous fights for Ennis as well. I actually think his jab defense isn't that great. He relies a lot on pulling it and slipping it and not getting a hand on it, which is very difficult to time. Even here, as you can see now, Stanionis does have a wicked jab, but I was seeing him getting caught with jabs by Sergey Lipinets. That doesn't mean to say he has bad jab defense. It just means to say that I have seen him get caught quite a bit with it. So I hope that won't cause him an issue in the future, but I could see it being the case. I think we're going to see it a little bit more in the rest of the round as well. Anyway, he tries to turn the shoulder and pull away from this jab, and then is going to step back, turn the shoulder again. He's looking for a counter here. He's walking around to his left in this Philly shell guard. He then flicks off the shoulder here and feint the counter, so that Stanionis steps back. Then he's going to get his range with the touch jab, and then feint to the body with a low two before coming up with an uppercut and a hook around the guard. And what does he do? Does he pull back? No. He keeps his hand there, takes his other hand to turn around from Stanionis, and then tries to get on this sort of clinch, and Stanionis is still working. Really nice inside work from Boots. He's going to come back into his right look system, so he's half jabbing here. As you can see, he's very reactive. Stanionis is going to launch himself in, and Boots straight away from this half jab manages to go into a little squeeze here and get low, which is really nice work. He's then going to come back around. He's going to again throw the jab to the gloves, and it really hurts Stanionis, all these jabs. Obviously, you know the feeling when someone throws a strong punch at your gloves. It still kind of gets through just because of the impact. So here Boots is going to look for a counter in a sort of a play-about way. So he's using his slip looks here. As soon as Stanionis launches forwards, he slips and goes straight for the uppercut and then gets close with the shoulder, as you can see. And after this body shot here, he throws a check hook and keeps his hand on his head before pivoting away. Really nice work. As soon as he's resets, he's got his base to work. So he's going to throw a straight two, which Stanionis has squared up for him for, and then going to throw a hook around the guard. Beautiful shot before stepping back with a little frame. And again, as soon as he steps back out of range, pops another two out. Really nice work. He's then doing a little bit of this showboat in here. He's then going to come back forward, throw a jab, and then back off into a little bit of looks backwards. Such a great combination puncher he is. So here he steps back, he slows down the jab, he lifts it high, and he puts it up. And then he's going to go double, double, two to the body, three to the head. Beautiful full punch combination. He then pivots out and regains the center. Stanionis is still looking to close the distance, and he gets popped with another jab inside here. You can see Ennis changing his looks. He's going for this Philly shell look. He's going for this air touch look, and then he uses it to frame on Stanionis' head. It's a beautiful example. He's keeping Stanionis in place. He's got his full glove on his head. Stanionis is trying to break the distance. He's going to throw the right hand to the body, and Boots is just going to parry it. It does kind of partially land, but Boots wasn't even really in place to defend it anyway. He was already leaning on his back foot. His front foot was up, but he still managed to see it coming and defend it. He again frames on the head of Stanionis, which Stanionis tries to push him off. And here Boots is going to show some pretty excellent defense. He raises his lead glove here, Boots, and it's an interesting look to have because it's actually looking for defense now, okay? Having a high hand block or a parry hand out or getting into a rhythm with slips and pulls and everything like that, or a high guard can really help you see the shot coming because you're in a defensive mindset. And as you can see here, he's waiting, he's looking at Stanionis. He then pulls away from the entry, slips off from the right hand, and then pulls back again before pivoting out to his right, away from this left hook here. He then resets around, and as he's square on here, he throws the two out a little bit, which is a bit risky. He then tries to get a hand on the shoulder or the glove of Stanionis, but he whips it out too quickly. He manages to pull away from this left hook, and then once he's made Stanionis miss, Ennis is going to get back his range and jab on the gloves before moving out to his right. He's waiting again for Stanionis to use some attacks. He uses a high guard here. He slips into this Philly shell stance. And this is something that I actually think can be a fault one day for Ennis, is he actually gets way too defensively comfortable. Instead of a simple defense such as Spence, where you're shuffling back with a squeeze, he really will try to slip and roll and pull away from shots. And that can be tricky to time every single time. As you can see from this right hand here, Stanionis just kind of loops it around and comes straight in with it. And it's a beautiful shot. Ennis backs off, and then he's going to use his block hands again. I love these triple block looks. They're really, really nice. It really gives the impression to your opponent that not only do you have good defense, you have active defense. It can actively change, and it's a really good thing to do, especially after getting here. As you can see, even Stanionis is unsure whether to throw of here, especially when Ennis dips his head in a little bit, even backs up Stanionis just a little bit. And again, it's a look where you can see the other punches coming because you're already in a defensive mindset. So here he's using his blocks, he sees the right hand coming and pulls away from it, and it still kind of lands on the body. Okay, let's keep watching. Again, Ennis gets a little bit lazy here. He's going to throw out his jab, and then as Stanionis is coming in, he's going to throw out his two and then come over with the one, which is a great shot that lands. And then for retaliation, Ennis is going to regain his distance. He's going to use his looks forward. He's then going to feint the uppercut. He's instead going to come around with the hook and then throw the uppercut. Stanionis manages to get low and sort of slip out of range with this one. Here is a little bit less lazy from Ennis. He's going to use his looks, keep using his baits. He's going to touch with the jab. He's going to see that Stanionis' head isn't there to be hit. So what does he do? He uses his block straight away, and it's a great block. It's a really strong left hand, but a really good block by Ennis. And he even switches stances with it as he regains his base. He's then using his other block hand look, which Stanionis is going to throw at, change it again to his lead glove, and just basically say to Stanionis with his looks, I can block whatever punch you throw. Here he's even going to get low with this look, and he's going to use it to get closer to Stanionis, and then land this great hook around to the body. And then he's going to back off a little bit with this high guard, step away, and then jab at Stanionis as he tries to regain the distance. He then switches orthodox, which is interesting. Let's see what he does out of this position. He's again going to use that sort of pendulum lead hand, I like to call it. It's so frequent. He so frequently uses it, and I really love the intent of just keeping on using that jab. So as he switches to orthodox, he obviously uses a great jab here. He then backs off a little bit, uses his Philly shell look, another great jab here, and then he's going to do a short level change and try to pull away from this jab to the body. Ennis, as of right now, is winning the lead hand battle by quite a margin. So I think Stanionis, what he's going to try to do here is get a little bit closer and work his good jab a little bit more as well. So after he pulls away, Ennis is going to start to use these relaxed sort of looks. He's going to see the jab coming from Stanionis and going to try to slip it, which lands. He's then going to try and use his looks a little bit elusively and then come up with the jab to the gloves. Again, Stanionis just straight away fires back his own jab, but Boots isn't letting go of the gas, and he uses another touch jab to the gloves. Stanionis is going to be a bit stubborn and say, no, I'm going to land my jab as well. They're going to jab at the same time here and both land these good jabs, which Boots gets the better of. And then Boots just capitalizes on the fact that he's got the longer reach, basically. Again, he's going to use a jab in between the gloves. He's going to back off. He's then going to step back. He's going to elusively wave his lead arm low. And then he's going to feint upstairs with a touch jab, change his level. Boom, great jab to the body. He's going to get into this Philly shell look as Stanionis looks to close the distance now. But once he sees that Stanionis isn't going to commit, he backs off, shuffles back, resets out to the right. He's then going to look to counter off this reset. As soon as Stanionis feints him, he slips on the inside and tries to come up with an uppercut. He's then going to move around to his left in a shuffle step, misdirect, move around to his right with defense, and a misdirect again to the left, this time changing stances and getting into this really square stance. You can see where this is going. Off the resets, looks for a counter, slip, and then boom, lovely, lovely, lovely uppercut. Incredible work. He's going to showboat a little bit more, and then he's going to regain his base into this orthodox position. And as he sees Stanionis with a high guard, he's going to play about with this high guard. He throws a 2, he throws a 1, 2 again. So that's a great 3 touches to the gloves. Stanionis backs off, and then he's going to go back into his great lead hand work, jab to the head, jab to the body. So if we review this a little bit, Stanionis' high guard is actually giving a huge target for Boots. Boots loves touching, jabbing, and throwing at the gloves. It gives him his great sense of range. He understands when Stanionis is going to throw. Unfortunately, a high guard isn't always effective. Now, that does not mean go into your next bouts with your hands down and low. It just means use your looks creatively and don't always give someone the same target, because it can get predictable, especially for a high-level fighter. He's going to showboat a little bit more, which I don't really care for. Stanionis is going to look to close the distance. Boots pulls back. He's then going to slip on the inside as a look. He's going to see that Stanionis is unreactive in this high guard, so he's just going to come up with the uppercut, hook around the guard, and then reset off. He gets back into his stance here defensively, but decides, you know what, I'm going to take another reset. And now I'm just going to play around with my resets, move to the left a little bit, move to the right a little bit, misdirect, move to the left again, get back in my southpaw, square up, misdirect again. This time use a frame to make sure he doesn't get close with his left hook. And then he's going to be in the corner. He plays around a little bit with his defense here. As you can see, his hands on the ropes. He's ducking, he's pulling, he's stepping back, he's getting low, he's slipping, and then pretty incredibly just manages to pivot away from this body shot here before resetting around to his right. Please don't try to emulate everything that Boots does. I know it can look impressive, but in my opinion, it's his simple yet creative boxing that makes him such a dangerous fighter, not these elusive slips and rolls and everything like that, although that obviously does help to get him a lot more confident and beat out the will to fight from his opponent. He's resetting again, he's misdirecting to the right, resetting to the left. He's then going to get back into his stance with his jab, and Stanionis is going to do a great thing. He's going to slip it straight away and then try to come up with a right hand. But Boots, again, he's always looking for a counter with these jabs. Touch jab here, he sees the right hand, gets low under, and then boom, comes up with the uppercut before they clinch. Amazing reflexes, I have to say. Okay, they break away from this clinch. Boots is really in his rhythm. He's leaning forward to bait the punch, even getting on the same height level as Stanionis. He then sees the punch coming, pulls away from it, sees if there's any more punches coming from Stanionis, and as you can see, as he leans forward, Stanionis backs off a little bit, which is great use of looks. And then he's going to decide to flick out the right hand to the gloves to keep him at range, a little bit like a touch jab. And then Stanionis is going to try to come forward. Boots pulls away from it. He gets back into a defensive position. Stanionis does a really nice thing here. He's actually going to decide to jab the chest, and Boots comes up with his own jab before circling around to his left, feinting high, feinting low with the jab, and then using a bit of elusive looks before throwing some nice touch jabs here just to end out the round. He even jabs here, feints getting close, and feints the body shots as well before the round ends. Okay, and that's the end of the round. I really hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'm very interested to see how Ennis's career progresses, because in my opinion, as talented and incredible as he is, I really do feel like he does have some flaws that can make for really interesting fights. That isn't to say he'll necessarily lose them. I would love to see a matchup between him and Virgil Ortiz. I just think it would be so interesting to watch. And I really only want to see him in elite matchups now because he really is incredible. Okay, anyway, thank you very much, guys. See you soon. Happy training.